Hi, welcome to MGID Talks India. I'm your host Pankaj Sharma, and we are back with another interesting topic. That is digital branding, essentials to drive more conversions. With our special guest, Mr. Krishnarao Buddha, Senior Category Head at Parle Products. He has over 26 years of experience into FMCG industry. He oversees Parle's entire snack, confectionery, cakes, and rusk portfolio. In his present capacity, he is responsible for category building, leading effective teams, while streamlining operations and marketing strategies, with an objective of enhancing Parle's market share and exceeding the brand revenue and profitability. Recently, he was awarded the Pitch CMO Award 2021, a flagship property of Exchange for Media Group, which was presented by Mirror Now. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hello. Hello, Pankaj. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Great.
To start off with, let's understand what is digital branding. So digital branding is how you design and build your brand online through websites, apps, social media, video, and many more. Digital branding consists of a combination of digital marketing and internet branding to develop a brand online. This is how you communicate your brand identity to consumers online with the overarching goal of increasing customer loyalty and sales. So if we talk about digital branding and online communication, can you tell me what are key factors to focus on to build your brand online?
Yes. So like you rightly defined what is digital branding. To my mind, Pankaj, it's exactly a similar process of brand building that we have been doing for decades and ages now. Okay, so it's just that the platforms are changing. So when we did not have television, so actually it started with maybe the product itself is a piece of communication. Your packaging is a wonderful communication and helps you to build the brand name, and the various elements of marketing mix are extremely critical to build the brand.
Mhm.
Over a period of time, we've seen new mediums evolve. So it started with, say, print, radio, and then television happened. And now from there, we have seen a movement towards digital. And digital is exploding. In the last 5 years, we've seen in India, the consumption on digital as a platform has risen significantly. So networks like 4G networks and easy access to smartphones have actually fueled the digital growth, and the pandemic has definitely enabled a lot more time is being spent on digital as a platform. So to my mind, digital marketing or digital as a medium to build brand has been the key forte now for the new age marketers, and they have been focusing to build brand on digital as a platform. Uh, the process is absolutely similar. So you need to have your 4 Ps in place. You need to have a
Mhm.
fantastic product or service for that matter, and with an appropriate pricing. The distribution, the platform, the product has to be available. If you are able to generate leads or trials, so the product
Mhm.
should be able to have should be easily available for the consumer. And then last but not the least, the promotion. So you need to create the interest, create the desire, create the awareness about the product or the brand for you to convert it into actual sale. I think the process remains same. It's just the platform is now a digital as a platform.
Yeah, as you rightly said, that your brand is the foundation of your business. It forms the building blocks that ensure your business is stable and heading for success. And having digital interaction with those customers is also important, and with the right communication. So since you mentioned about pandemic and the shift which has happened from television to digital, so what are the how have brand dynamics changed pre-pandemic and now?
I think there has been a significant movement pre-pandemic. So pre-pandemic, there was a lot more focus on television. If I were to compare between television and digital, so there was a lot more focus on television as a medium. But during pandemic and post pandemic and currently, I would say, there has been a lot more energy and effort being focused on digital as a platform. Not just me, I'm saying generally marketers at large have been exploring digital as a platform to reach out their consumers. Digital actually enables the way you have on television. If I were to draw parallels between TV and digital, the way you have GC channels, you have kids channels, you have music as a genre, movies as a genre. So you can reach, and you have news channels to reach adults. So you have every type of a genre to reach a certain specific audience. Likewise, you can actually do it still better on digital as a platform. So be it a social media, be it OTT as a platform, or any other display, banner ads, etc. As a mode to communicate, one can actually choose precisely whom one wants to target. So that focused targeting is a great advantage of digital. So the change that has been noticed during pandemic is the increased time spent on digital. So like I said, last year, everyone, so during the lockdown, there was no new content coming on television, as a result of which there has been a lot of shift to the small screen, to digital, to OTT platforms, and the consumption has shot up significantly because there at least a content which was not viewed earlier was at least available. So in a way, television as a medium has lost out big time to digital. Uh, and thereafter, it has actually, digital has been able to consolidate, and continuously platforms have been innovating and reinventing and coming up with fresh programming, innovative shows, etc. So a recent example is a show on Netflix, which has created a huge buzz across the globe with their new show, which became extremely popular. It started from Korea, and then from there on, it went on to become extremely popular. So likewise, there have been a lot of shows which are hitting, which are completely Indian and focused at a certain audience, and that has been able to generate a lot more eyeballs on digital as a platform. So the orientation is very clear. In the next few years, looks like digital is definitely up for further growth, significant growth, and more marketers are definitely bound to join digital for reaching out to their prospective consumers.
Yeah, time spent on the mobile has increased drastically comparatively what it was previously, since most of the things. So talking about, you mentioned about what brand managers should do. So what are the crucial skills a brand manager should use in the digital brand strategy for better ROI?
What are the, I'm sorry, if you can just come again, Pankaj.
Yeah. So what are the crucial tactics
Yes.
a brand manager should use in their digital brand strategy for better ROI?
Yes, I think the typical strategies are so like for actually getting a consumer on digital as a platform. So there could be two ways. So considering that we are in FMCG category, so we our first objective is actually to generate awareness. There could be certain categories where actually the need is straight away to get into leads and to convert it into sales. Okay, while that is happening in certain segments, maybe segments like automobiles for that matter, or insurance, this becomes, or travel for that matter. So it becomes much easier, because if you get a lead that there is a flight to a certain destination and is coming at a certain price, so actually one gets tempted after looking at the ad or the banner or display ad or whatever, and there could be a possibility of quick conversion. Unlike that, it is slightly difficult for an FMCG brand where you might see a certain percentage off or an offer of buy one get one or buy two get two, or some trip or some consumer offer. But because the price is low, so the price range could be 5 rupees, 10 rupees, or below 100 rupees, the propensity or the inclination from the consumer to go out immediately and take a decision and to buy, to make a purchase, is slightly difficult. Unlike a high value product, even as much as say an electronics for that matter, one gets a deal and one was looking out for it, or even property which runs into lakhs and crores. Actually, if you are able to see an ad and if you are actually on the lookout and you feel that this seems to be fitting your bill, so you might actually reach out to the developer and strike a deal. So unlike that, FMCG, it is the priority is to actually build awareness, generate awareness and trials, and the basic tactics that each brand manager should be looking at is what kind of response a certain platform will generate. Say, for example, if you're looking at social media, what is the kind of reach one can seek, depending upon the availability of the product, whether the product is available in a particular region, or it is available nationally. Based upon that, one can actually reach out to that audience in that market during that particular moment. Okay, it could be a brand manager wants to reach an audience during a new launch for us for 4 weeks, and that is the time that the activity might be taken up on digital, and that is the time one can look at lead generation or trial generation. So that is definitely possible on digital. And a second thing is uh, so the format. What kind of format do you want? So I lay a lot more emphasis on developing a right kind of a creative. So this is very important for a brand manager. And this holds good, Pankaj, even for television. If your creative is not that much persuasive, it's not really going to make the consumer stand up and take an action towards the brand. But likewise, if your creatives on, say, be it display or digital video, DVCs or so, if they are not persuasive, they are not good enough to actually generate an action from the prospect, then actually you cannot be blaming on the medium. But actually, so it starts with having the best of the creative and the best of the proposition, and then you can look at reaching on a wonderful platform so that actually you are able to generate the desired result.
Yeah, very well said. Like, it's quite important for us to understand the audiences, the target audiences, and devise a communication for each of the medium. Say, maybe on digital, you have social, you have native, you have video. So the communication has to change from, depending upon the medium within the digital fraternity. And it's important to get closure. And the prime objective of digital should be spreading that awareness, having that sort of trial basis for a new product, and which is quite important. These are actually very insightful, and every brand manager should look at these kind of basic aspects which are required, and communication plays a very important role.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So since you mentioned about something about leads, and when we talk about digital is all about performance, and branding is being set aside. There was a time when a lot of emphasis was given on branding, but slowly and certainly everyone started demanding performance from digital campaigns. So what is the key role of branding in converting leads? As in, when or what stage the brand should ask for leads data or sales numbers?
Yes. So that has started to happen in our case as well. Say, so earlier, Pankaj, when, let's say, in India, e-commerce was slightly at an evolving stage, so we were not really expecting much. I'm talking about just about 5 years ago. We have e-commerce portals like Big Basket, Grofers, Flipkart, Amazon, but we were not really expecting much out of these portals. But now things have changed significantly, and the pandemic has actually propelled consumers towards more and more towards e-commerce. Consumers in the metros, mega metros, tier 2, tier 3 towns and cities, they are more and more inclined towards digital and e-commerce as such. So here, so when we began our journey on digital, earlier we were looking for generating awareness and trials, but as far as e-commerce is concerned, actually we are looking at straight away a business lead, and we do have visibility with our partners on digital, on these portals, where actually that is the kind of offer, the kind of proposition, the product proposition, the brand proposition that we are showcasing, that is leading to a lot of leads and actual conversion into sales. So we've seen whenever we have done visibility campaigns with e-commerce, we have converted and we have been able to generate a very high number, and that has actually been extremely satisfying, because it's a partnership that we have worked out, and things are working, and we start working well in advance, at least like 3 months in advance for a particular event, and we ensure that all the things are in place, and the product, the visibility aspects, etc., and things are actually shaping up well, and we every season, every event, we scale newer heights, and we have been achieving fabulous numbers. So straight away it's actually leading into sales as well.
Wow, that's very interesting insight. And in fact, it has been said that branding doesn't lead to performance or leads, like, but somewhere when you are engaging with the user or in customer, the chances of you converting them at a later stage or instantly is very high. So this is very interesting. So it's very difficult to measure brand success. So if you can tell me that how to measure brand success and what are the key metrics to look upon?
See, I think I really feel it's not very difficult to measure the brand success, though the metrics for digital are still evolving. Yes, there are concerns to me actually, and to a lot more marketers like me. So brand safety is one key aspect while having presence on digital. So what is the kind of environment that your brand is being showcased is very important. What kind of language, what kind of content is being showcased? It should not have cuss words. It should not have a wrong content or an inappropriate content to a particular TG. Especially a lot of our brands are targeted towards kids. So we should not, we do not want to promote sort of fights or what you call promotion of weapons or usage of weapons and all those, which are like very strong guidelines from Parle, and many brands, I'm sure, follow such guidelines, brand safety guidelines. So it becomes extremely crucial as to what kind of an environment your ad or your communication is being showcased. Having said that, also who is watching, who is what kind of impressions are you able to generate, what kind of click rates are you able to generate? So these are basic brand safety metrics that we look forward to, because we are many times skeptical whether these numbers are really being viewed by our prospective consumers, or there are only bots which are operating. So those are certain areas of concern. So that's one part. While we are looking forward to more and more metrics and more confidence building tools on digital to promote more of our brands, the other side of it is where we are actually seeing performance, we are seeing results, we are able to measure the brand success as well. Say growth, like I just earlier told you. So if if we were doing, say, for example, 100 on a particular portal, and for a particular brand, if we had taken certain initiatives and if we have been able to achieve 120, 130, so we know that the brand is growing at a healthy rate of 20-30%, and we are able to generate lead trials. And even after the offer, post the offer, if we are not going back to 100 or even below, we are sure, we are extremely confident that this offer has worked well, and we have been able to stabilize somewhere around 110. So even without offer, we have been able to generate a incremental 10% growth at a profitable growth, that to a profitable growth. I think those are the few metrics to evaluate the brand success.
Very interesting. Can you suggest which is the most effective form of digital branding, whether social media, display, video, search, native? As you know, there are a number of options available these days.
I think all these options are absolutely fantastic and suitable for different brands. So you need to just check which option suits your brand needs. Say, so coming from television as a background, largely even today, almost 85% of our spends are on television. So that's the fact. So we are comfortable doing video rolls, mid rolls, pre rolls. So video advertising is far more. It gives us a lot more confidence and for digital as a medium. Besides, we've used social media. We do use social media extensively, and we also do movement marketing. So which movement marketing is almost like almost a 365-day kind of an activity. You cannot every day there is something new that is happening, and then you need to communicate. So it should not give a feel to the consumer because this brand is actually just for the heck of it doing some activity or so, but there has to be a strong brand relevance why a brand is talking. Say, for example, look at a brand like Amul. Even much way before digital existed, Amul has been doing movement marketing. Every now and then they advertise on hoardings, on newspapers, and actually it cuts across, and it touches your heart, and you actually appreciate, oh, what a lovely piece of communication, and you are able to relate with the brand far better. So I'm saying movement marketing is yet another aspect where we look at strongly as far as social media as a platform is concerned. And there have been times where a lot of our content has actually gone viral. So where we had never anticipated that this would go viral, and things have actually worked extremely well for us. So in my point of view, the options are relevant for the brands, for the brand managers to decide what is most suitable to their brand needs, depending upon their budgetary constraints, their reach and target based objectives, etc. I think one can use the different choices.
Yeah, in fact, you rightly pointed that each of the medium or each of the channel has their own importance. Video is more for the good for the branding. Search is also required when someone is actually looking out for your brand and making those kind of purchases. Since you talked about this new age platforms like making viral, what do you think about this new age digital platforms which are evolving, and we have seen some of the best platforms coming in pandemic time? Do you think they are actually effective to reach out to the target audiences?
Absolutely. So these new age platforms have been actually trying to fulfill a certain consumer need. Okay. So yeah. Pankaj, while we started with English as a content, so as digital is progressing in the country, we have seen the existence or introduction of a lot of new age platforms which can help you reach the vernacular audiences as well. And I am a strong believer that if I want to convince you, I must talk your language. So that's a simple belief every marketer has, and that's why we do so many language ads. So when we create a Hindi master or an English master, we have languages as well, like the South languages, the Bengali language, and many other regional languages, because once the communication, the piece of communication speaks in your language, it becomes much easier for you to understand and empathize with that communication. And digital gives you an option to customize your communication to different audiences. Actually, you can do, for one campaign you can do thousands of pieces of communication. That's the beauty of, and at a very, very economical cost. That's the beauty of digital, actually. And so these new age platforms actually have helped us reach our audiences by way of giving us choices of language as an option, and that has led to a far better response rather than restricting ourselves to only English as a language.
Yeah, since you talked about a lot of digital, and the question was coming in about digital transformation, as I have seen Parle's journey. As I was a kid, like I used to like Parle G. Still, I consume Parle G. It has got a lot of memories. So, how the digital transformation has taken for your company now, from from print to televisions and now digital? If you can just share some insights.
Yes. So way back, I remember way back in the 50s and 60s, or even in the 70s or early 80s, our dependence on print and radio was significantly higher. So we were actually making a lot more use of out of home media. We were branding our trucks, our vehicles. We were actually focusing a lot more on print, and that too, the print was limited. There were not many vehicles available, so maybe an English or a Hindi language. And slowly and steadily we started having vernacular languages as well. Likewise, we had Vivid Bharati. FM wasn't existent almost, and then we had to bank upon All India Radio and Vivid Bharati, etc. And as we saw the emergence of television, so with Doordarshan, good old Doordarshan days, and we saw fantastic response as far as audio visual. The moment we had audio visual as a mode of communication, we started getting better and better response. The moment we had television, and during the Doordarshan days, we started getting extreme positive response to our commercials. And that is when our belief, and also our field force, which we started with our checking with our field force, and they would say, the moment you advertise, actually the sales are shooting up disproportionately. And those were the days. And from there on, from one channel to currently, we have almost about 900 to 1,000 channels, and it is growing. The number is growing disproportionately. So the journey has been so we have completely shifted towards television, but we've not ignored digital. So digital, we have been having presence for almost about 2 decades now, over 2 decades. If you remember, there were companies like Contest to Win, Games to Win, and we would integrate our brands across those platforms. And then there were different companies like Zapak and India Games, etc. So we have collaborated and have participated in those as well. From there on, in the last 5 years, our journey from television to digital has been very, very rapid. And like I said, the pandemic has further fueled this migration or change towards digital. And for every brand, mostly, we have decided to have a digital strategy in place. And social media, be it social media or OTT, or like you said, native. So we have been focusing, and we have been having exclusive campaigns for digital as well. In fact, we have started devising exclusive ads, creatives for digital. So we don't run the same communication on television. So we are coming up with exclusive content pieces for digital as well. So that's how our journey is. And moving forward, I am strongly believing that this journey will be still rapid with the advent of, say, 5G. And we'll see more and more presence of not just Parle, but many other brands like that on digital.
Well, that's very interesting to know, and we have seen that kind of journey with our own
Yes.
eyes, from from television to print to digital. Thank you so much for joining us for this talk show. It was like pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much, Pankaj. It was indeed wonderful talking to you.